What you gonna do, fiat dollar? On CryptoBullGod and his crypto maniacs and the entire cryptocurrency market run wild on you.
Out of the darkness
and into the light. Welcome in. I am the CryptoBullGod, and in today's video, I am here for the people that are in despair, in the darkness. I want to bring you into the light. We are in the eye of the hurricane right now. Okay, the eye of the hurricane. And we have not experienced the crypto bull cycle euphoria that is here to come. I am going to provide you with 6 supporting pieces of evidence as to why this is the case. The most important thing from this video that I want you to take away is that you feel more convicted than ever. That while I always say there's a whole range of probabilities in terms of how things could play out, the odds are in our favor that we are far, far from the top, and I'm going to provide you with supporting evidence for this. If you appreciate this content, if you appreciate this content, please subscribe to the channel. Please share it. It's the only way that, non-hype material is going to catch on. It's all you guys and girls who share the content and engage with me, which I really appreciate. So subscribe, like, comment below. I love engagement. As you can see, I always get back to people. You can find me on Twitter at CryptoBullGod. Thank you again for the engagement on Twitter. My Twitter profile, I'm getting closer and closer to 3,000 followers, so thank you. I really do appreciate that. You can find me on Twitter at CryptoBullGod. You can also find me Tradingview, which I've neglected a lot, at CryptoBullGod. I'll get back on there at some point. So all 3 places, YouTube, Twitter, and Tradingview at CryptoBullGod. So let's get into things. What we're going to start off, actually, I should give you the quick disclosure, right? So just a quick disclosure that what I'm sharing is not financial advice. I'm simply looking to educate, help, and spread sound technical analysis to the community to help others in making informed decisions. When making your own personal financial decisions regarding what to invest in, when to buy, when to sell, ultimately that ownership falls on you. My hope, however, is that you can utilize what I share as another data point in helping you to think through what may be best for your own personal approach. I need to whittle that disclosure down. That is way too damn long. Anyway. Got to be thorough. Don't want anyone to think I'm telling them what to do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to delve into some Bitcoin charts. This video is so thorough that I even have notes written out for myself because I don't want to miss anything here. One of the things that I've been speaking to, I'll flip to the first chart here, which is on the 12-hour for Bitcoin. Or this is on a daily at the moment, but let's flip to the 12-hour. One of the things I've been speaking to that I don't want everyone to lose sight of, and I've been very adamant about this, the rate of acceleration in Bitcoin has been a lot higher than we saw in the prior cycle. Don't lose sight of the fact that what I am doing as a technical analyst and what the other good technical analysts are doing out there is they're looking at the prior cycles to draw conclusions on prior movements in the cryptocurrency cycle, in the Bitcoin cycle, but they're also making inferred decisions based upon the current price action that's taking place, right? So what I'm doing as a technical analyst is I'm looking both at the prior market cycles and I'm also looking at the current price action to make informed decisions regarding how I think things will kind of play out and the direction that we're going. So it's not important, or it's very important not to lose sight of that. So I kept stressing to everyone that the rate of acceleration, so let's just I'll look at it on a weekly, but the rate of acceleration has been a lot higher since the beginning of the year than we saw in the prior cycle. And if we kind of think about that, one of the other things I stressed was if Bitcoin continued to accelerate at such a rate, we would top earlier. And this should intuitively make sense. We would top earlier and at a lower price level than we otherwise would if we went up in price, came down, consolidated in a healthy fashion, and then continued to move higher. If we did a movement such as that, the movements within the market, the movements within Bitcoin, the movements within cryptocurrency would be a lot more sustainable to support higher price targets. So while the pullback to the 42,000 area, which we'll get into here, threw a lot of people off track, it's actually very healthy consolidation. There isn't anything here that's alarming to me. And let me explain why. Now, in the prior video, this is a 12-hour chart on Bitcoin. I spoke to the importance of this pink line. This is the 200 SMA on the 12-hour chart. In the prior cycle, what I indicated is this area right here, I want to make sure everyone can see this. This area right here served as an area of support. And you can see right here, we bounced off of it originally. And again, this is a 12-hour view. We bounced off this 200 SMA. But as soon as we came up to this level right about here, we created a lower high and we plummeted through the 200 SMA. So that's very alarming. That's a red flag, right? The reason this isn't super alarming to me is because of the first point I made earlier. We accelerated at such a rapid rate that prices were bound to correct even more so than what we saw in the prior cycle. And that should intuitively make sense. Hopefully it does. So it doesn't, I would have liked, let me put it this way. I would have liked to have seen this 200 SMA hold, maybe some consolidation take place around here, but I'm not overly concerned. It's a red flag. It's a caution flag. It's a caution flag. But I'm not overly concerned with the fact that we broke the 200 SMA. What I want to see is I want to see price hold around the current levels that we're at, and I want to see us get back above the 200 SMA. So look for that on the 12-hour chart. Now, another thing I want to point out here is this initial golden zone that I had as a buying opportunity. I've been tweeting about this. That's why it's important to follow me on Twitter if you're not. I had tweeted about this as a support zone, and you can see here we tested it. Here we broke through a little bit, but I had these two green lines here at 42 and 43,000. And so far, those areas of support that I had drawn here have worked out perfectly. We actually bounced right off of 42,000. So if you had taken my advice, if you had some money on the side and you were looking to scale in and you utilized my data point here in terms of where we might bounce, you've done pretty well, right? Because we've bounced off the 42,000 area. It's not rocket science how I got this area. It just has to do with prior price confluence. These were either areas of prior support or resistance. You can see the 42,000 area here was a prior area of resistance right here, okay? And here, the 43,000 area, had we hit that level and bounced and not gone to 42, we would have created a double bottom because we bounced off of the 43,000 area right here. Now, what's this other zone that I have drawn here? Well, what I did was I said, okay, if this 42,000 area breaks, for me personally, the must-hold area that I want to see in terms of on a daily chart, I want to see this next zone, which I've established here based on prior price confluence of areas of resistance and support. I've drawn that around 30. It looks like 36,700, so close to 37,000, as low as 37,000, and below 42,000, right? So anywhere in this area. You have to keep in mind, and I've stressed this so many times, there's a very big difference between price wicks, which represent volatility, and candle body closes. We could wick as low as 37,000. We could come down, let me show you what I mean here. We could come down here, wick here, and then bounce up. That's different, okay? That's a lot different than us coming down here, staying here, getting candle body closes, and then potentially going lower. Okay, a lot different scenario. I would anticipate that we would hold this golden zone right in here. I'd have to reassess the chart if we started to get candle body closes below this area. Again, price wicks is a different story, but I would expect this area to hold. I was leaning towards the fact of 42,000. One other note before we get to a different chart here. I was leaning to 42,000 being the bottom. Okay. But one of the things that has made me more cautious in making that call, we've hit this level 3 times now. And one thing I want you to keep in mind, and I've said this time and time again, anytime prices hit repeatedly, it weakens. Okay, it doesn't get stronger. So if a floor is being hit, if price is coming down and hitting a floor, hitting a floor, hitting a floor, it's more likely we're going to break. Okay, I'll take you back to the huge descending triangle that played out, which I was on top of. I wasn't as prominent on Twitter, so I don't know that I was tweeting about it. But the descending triangle, I was all over in 2018. I mean, it was a classic descending triangle. We kept bouncing off that 58 to 6,200 floor, and eventually we broke. Well, in this case, on a 12-hour view, we've hit this 42,000 floor a few times now. So I really don't, on another 12-hour candle, I don't want to come back down to this 42,000 area if we're expecting a bounce up. Okay, I want to start to see some higher lows and higher highs being created. The ultimate test, guys, when you know that the chart is really turning around, here's a descending line of resistance here. When this line breaks, you know it's going to be off to the races, okay? But we need this descending line to break, and I've shown this on the daily here, okay? So really, we need to get above this prior lower high, and it looks like that area was at, we're just going to call it 60,000. When you see Bitcoin get back above 60,000, whoop, whoop, you better get ready. You better get ready, son. I'm going to be off to the races. So, yeah, there's definitely some caution in the short term. The other thing that I don't want to get lost in my words here is this is short-term concern that I have. We haven't gotten to the 6 points that I'm going to make in terms of why I'm convicted that this bull run is nowhere near to being over, okay? So this is short-term volatility. And again, I want to stress the point. The longer we sort of get this consolidation that's going on, okay, and the longer these movements take, it expands out the price movements that we can expect later on and the higher price targets we're ultimately going to see in the cycle top. Again, Bitcoin's the driver of value. Okay, someone asked me a question, and I've gotten a few of these questions. Bitcoin's the ultimate driver of value. So the higher Bitcoin goes, okay, the higher the rest of the cryptocurrency market goes. See my last video, 2 videos ago, 3 videos ago, the Holy Crypto Trinity. Okay, a lot of those price projections were based on a theoretical value of Bitcoin scaling back in value as altcoins run. Because the thing you have to keep in mind is as Bitcoin tops out, okay, if Bitcoin theoretically topped out, let's say October 1st, as it tops out, okay, a lot of that money that's exiting Bitcoin will enter the altcoins and they will run. So we want Bitcoin to go very high in value, okay, because that's going to dictate a lot of the value that will be driven within the altcoins. Now let's get into this weekly view, which is concerning, certainly. Again, the rate of acceleration. Something I want to point out here. Let's actually take this line off for a second. Let's just focus on the 21 simple moving average and the 21 EMA. There's a couple things going on here that didn't happen in the last cycle. Again, if you could look at the prior cycle and say things will happen exactly the same, not only does that sound moronic, like really think about that statement, we can just look at the last cycle and everything is going to play out the same. That sounds stupid, really. Not only that, everybody would be rich, right? There's going to be deviations for the prior cycle. If you have a larger, broader-based hypothesis in terms of where the value of the market is going and why, you can use the prior cycle as sort of a view in terms of, in general, how things might play out, okay, broad, big picture perspective. But there's going to be deviations within that cycle, and that's what we're seeing here. So there's a couple deviations. First off, this weekly candle, it did close below the 21 moving average and above the 21 EMA. However, we also got the EMA crossing, the 21 EMA crossing below the simple moving average, the 21 simple moving average, which didn't happen last cycle. Again, I point back to the rate of acceleration. Look how long. I want to kind of show you. It actually, I think Bitcoin made history in terms of how long it ran without touching this 21 EMA. Look how long, once we got off here and we were above it, look how many weeks. We went, well, it looks like 30 weeks. I mean, that's almost a year. I mean, without touching the 21 EMA. Again, had this thing continued to go higher, chances are we would have gotten some blow off top a lot sooner than people would have wanted to see. So it's good to see the consolidation that we're seeing right now. But what we want to see is we want to see prices get back above this level here. okay? Now, on the weekly chart, what I've done is I've drawn a zone of support. The zone of support based on prior price confluence here on support and resistance, I've drawn that between, it looks like 40,000 and 38,000. Now, as you recall on the other chart, on the daily chart that I looked at, it went as low as what, 36,700 or 37,000? So my expectation is I would not expect prices to go any lower than around 37,000. This chart is saying on a weekly view, it wouldn't go any lower than, say, 38,000. So the upper 30,000 range to me represents an expectation as a floor as to how low we will go. The other thing I didn't hit on from the other chart, the other thing I've been contemplating and thinking about, we'll have to revisit this once we top out this year, all of this consolidation that's taking place in here, it's like, let's say between 45 and 42,000. This could very well represent our price bottoming point once we enter a bear market next year. Yes, we're going to be in a bear market next year. That's why I'm so euphoric right now. I've been in this market since late 2017, so this is a hell of a moment for me and everyone who's been in this market for a while, because we haven't topped out yet. We're going to have a euphoric top. Once we have a euphoric top, we're going to have a massive correction, despite what anyone says. So once we have that massive correction, what I've been really contemplating is, could this area, this 45 to 42,000 area, we'll have to come back to this video next year, late next year. Could this 45 to 42,000 area be a cycle bottom next year in a bear market? So just a thought. But on the weekly view, what I want to see here, okay, the current weekly candle, I don't like hanging out around here below this 21 SMA and this 21 EMA. I want to see us get back above this line, okay? Price bottom point on the weekly tells me somewhere between 40 and 38,000. Now let's get into, well, actually there's one more view I wanted to look at. This is the NVT. One thing I wanted to point out with the NVT, and I've pointed to this chart a few times in other videos, we went from red to white, right? One thing I noticed, and I don't think anyone's pointed this out. Let me draw this out for you. When we turn from red, you see right here, let me increase this for you. You see this point right here when we turn from red to white and we had a correction and so on and so forth. And we did the same thing here. We had a big correction here. And now we're at this point where we went from red to white. What I'm noticing, and I don't know if a similar price fractal will play out. Again, a price fractal is looking back in time at a price pattern. And although the magnitude and duration of the movement won't be exactly the same, the magnitude and the movements will be similar, right? So we're just trying to draw comparisons to prior movements. I noticed that when we changed from red to white here, we sort of flattened off, came down, consolidated, and then moved up. So one of the things I'm considering here is that even though the duration has been different, look what's happened here. We flattened out, we came down, maybe we consolidate, and then we go higher. Just something I noticed. I hadn't seen anyone point that out, so I figured I'd discuss that. So let's get into the 6 pieces of evidence, okay? We're going to get into the 6 pieces of evidence as to why I feel extremely adamant that this cycle has not topped, and then we're going to get into the Holy Crypto Trinity. Point number 1, I have been very, very steadfast in the notion that some of these older crypto projects that I still believe in that hold a lot of value, I'm talking about XRP. You damn right, XRP. Look behind me, mother. Yeah, that's right. XRP. Anyway, sorry, my passion came out. Don't think just because I haven't tweeted about XRP charts that my passion for XRP and Ripple has faded one bit. I've tweeted on why. Once we get back on the buy-sell limits on exchanges, I will be tweeting charts. Anyway, still very passionate about XRP and Ripple. Let's move on. So XRP, XLM, Dash, Zcash, and Bitcoin Cash as examples. None of these coins have surpassed their all-time high. All of these coins, I am a very firm believer, will go well past their prior all-time highs. That is evidence point number 1. Evidence point number 2. Oh, this is good. The market has not gone euphoric. What does it mean when there is a parabolic move? What does it look like? Well, let's go to this Bitcoin chart here. Actually, let's go to the weekly view because that's even better. This is the prior cycle top. What happened? Well, let's take a look. Look what happened here. All of a sudden, you know, we're kind of moving up here, and then look what happened here. We went like vertical, and then we had a sharp correction, and then we bounced. It's called a dead cat bounce, okay? We created a lower high. We came down, lower high, came down, lower high, came down, lower high. All right, let's look at what's going on right now. And also the volume picked up. That's another important point. The volume picked up. Let's scroll over to the right here. Let's see what happened. Well, first off, volume kicked up right here. You can see the volume bars down here. But as we started moving up here, this volume is very lackluster. So there's no volume growth here. That's the first thing I'd point out. But look what happened here. We've had a sharp rise, but we've chopped around, right? And we've come down. There was no parabolic movement here where we came up and we had a sharp correction and then bounced up for a lower high and then came down. No, we just, if you look at this, we moved up, low volume in here. Sorry, you can't see if I'm pointing at the screen. Let me point with my mouse clicker. But we came up on low volume and then we sort of consolidated here for like weeks and then came down. So this is not a parabolic movement here in the fashion of what we've seen in prior cycles. It doesn't make any sense that this would be a top. And the volume here, it's right down here. This is what I'm pointing at. Right down here. Look at how low this volume is. Very, very low. So that's supporting evidence number 2. Let's get into supporting evidence number 3. This is the stock to flow model. I pointed this out on the last chart. The last chart? The last video. Typically what we do on the stock to flow, I'm not going to get into the technicalities of the stock to flow. I've been learning more and more about it. You can do that on your own. Maybe I'll cover it in a podcast. But typically what we do, this line here, okay, this is the stock to flow here, the actual stock to flow line. What we typically do is we overshoot that line. When we have a euphoric top, when the market actually does go euphoric, again, we have not gone euphoric. Point number 6 will stress we haven't gone euphoric. When we go euphoric, what happens is the value of Bitcoin, it overshoots the stock to flow value. You can see it here. You can see it here. We haven't overshot the value. The value is up at 100,000. We're going to overshoot this value. If history is any indicator of what to expect, and again, this has been accurate in terms of showing what we could expect from prior cycles, just using past data to infer what may happen in the future. Excuse me. Pardon me. I'm just using past data to infer what may happen in the future. And this is telling me that we haven't topped yet because we haven't overshot the stock to flow value. And you can also see the dots which correspond to the halvenings. We haven't entered any of the light green or darker green areas. We're still in a yellow range here. So the stock to flow is point number 3 that says, it's a validation point that says, yeah. We're having a correction right now, a healthy pullback. And actually, I didn't even touch on this. It was in a prior video. The pullback we're seeing right now corresponds to healthy pullbacks we've seen in prior Bitcoin cycles in terms of percentage movements down. So we're just having a healthy pullback, right? People, too many people get emotional about things. When you can read that, let me actually share something with you that's really important. My mood, I want you to ask yourself if this was true about you. My mood as it related to the cryptocurrency markets on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and today was the same. I mean, I was excited to see some of the movements I saw today. I mean, right before I started recording this video, Hbar was moving up. I don't know if it still is. One was moving up. Matic's been having some massive movements. Yeah, it felt great and everything. But my mood, I feel like because I'm unemotional about these things and because I've just done so much homework and I've just studied this market so much and I have all these data points that validate how I feel and I'm sharing with you to help you out, I don't get upset. I really don't get worried or upset. So check yourself. If you don't feel the same way, I'm hoping after the conclusion of this video, you feel differently and it's very helpful. So stock to flow, point number 3. I haven't topped. Pointed this one out before. This is the Bitcoin investor tool. Historically, if we go back in time, what this line is going to tell us, we've overshot, similar to stock to flow. Look at this. We overshot it here. We overshot it here. We overshot it here. This thing is all the way right now at $88,000. And it's going to continue to climb. And look how low we are. We're at about half the value. So as we consolidate in here and we begin to move up, this line is going to continue to move up. I mean, I actually tweeted about this, a theoretical line. This line, it's just going to continue going up. So theoretically, if we topped in late October and this line's up at 150,000, okay, again, theoretical. This line keeps going up. We're at 150,000, and history says every single time we have a euphoric top, we overshoot the line by a certain percentage, which I tweeted about. It puts us over $200,000. This chart tells me we haven't topped. Again, using past data to make inferred decisions of the future. Inferred decisions of future price action. I like that better. So this is data point number 4. Data point number 5. Validation point. By the way, in my last video, I think I called this a regression line. I don't know what the hell I was smoking. I don't even smoke. But, well, actually, technically, that's not true. I'll share that at the conclusion of the video. But, hey. So, where was I going with this? This is the log growth curve. This is not a regression curve. But the log growth curve, if we go back in time, what we see is Bitcoin likes to test the very top of this log growth curve. I feel like, based on what we've seen in the past, you can see in this top here, we didn't get to the top. Here, we kind of wicked to it. Here, we challenged getting past it. I actually think this time around, and I drew out some hypothetical lines here. A couple points here. First off, we're resting on the median line. Second, we're very far away from the top log growth curve that suggests where a top hypothetically may be based on prior cycles. I feel like based on the way Bitcoin has been catching up to the top of this log growth curve, we're actually gonna supersede whatever this value is when we top. Okay, so that's point number 5. We're nowhere near the top of this log regression line, and historically we top around this area. Okay, that's the 5th point. Here's the 6th and final point. Do you know what this is? Let me get my face out of the way here. Let me keep the XRP and Bitcoin there. This is Google Trends. This spike here represents the interest. I think this is in the United States. Yeah, I have this on the United States. I don't know what happens if I do worldwide. Okay, it's the same thing. I was hoping that wasn't going to throw this validation point off because I was just looking at the United States. So we'll look worldwide because obviously cryptocurrency is worldwide. So essentially what this is saying is people's interest. They're searching for Bitcoin, how to buy Bitcoin, what Bitcoin is. Whatever the point is, they're going to Google and they're searching for Bitcoin. This went crazy towards the cycle top. Look where we are right now. You can see we're bouncing around in here. We haven't reached levels that we saw back at our prior cycle top. This is another strong validation point that delusional people who think they can get rich quickly, who you and I will benefit from because we are smart and we know to be unemotional and we know to scale out of our investments when things become overvalued. These people enter the market, they lose, they cry, they go home, and then they don't enter the market again until 4 years later, and then they repeat the same mistakes. We're not going to do that. So, oh, you didn't see me looking at you when I said that. So I was looking right at you when I said that. So those are my 6 points in terms of why I feel very confident that Bitcoin has not topped, and I hope that is very helpful for you. The other 7th reason, bonus reason I want to throw in before we get into HBAR 1 and Mana, otherwise known as the Holy Crypto Trinity, there are actually, well, there's one main reason, other reason why this market has not topped. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a $400 bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label Ghost and Rare, because it's from a rare distillery. It's no longer in production. Bottle of wine. I want you to note it is unopened. That bottle is reserved for this shot glass. Do you see it? I will be taking many, many shots to celebrate my own personal goals this crypto cycle. I've been in this market for a pretty fucking long time. You see this? This is a chip. All my chips are in. I'm here, right? I'm not going anywhere. And this market has not topped. We got a lot more gains to go. And let me tell you what, not only that, but I got this beauty right here. We're going to smoke a cigar. We're going to have, I don't know how much of this whiskey we're going to have. I'm going to have a party by myself because I live here by myself. So I don't give a shit. But the point is, I haven't live streamed. I haven't gone crazy. I told you guys I would live stream when shit got real crazy. And I am someone who is a goal setter. When I set my mind to something and I am passionate about something, I'm going to accomplish it. History says this. I have some goals this year, okay? Some very specific goals. Those goals will be met this year. And those goals being reached, those financial goals, will be a result of the due diligence that I've put into the cryptocurrency market, the investing I've done. I know what I'm talking about. You can look at my Twitter profile and think that a lot of this is entertainment, and I try to bring humor to you, but I am really well educated. And I'm here to tell you that we have not topped. Come back to this video next year and tell me that I'm wrong. Please tell me that I'm wrong, because I know, I feel confident. Nothing's 100%, but I feel extremely confident we have not topped. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. All right, so that's enough of my passion. So let's get into an update on the Holy Crypto Trinity. I can see we're 32 minutes into the video. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. The passion comes out sometime. I'm going to save Hbar for last because that's the, you got the Holy Crypto Trinity. You got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and Hbar is the Father. So we're going to save that one for last. Let's get to the Son. Let's get the one. So I had tweeted, where's the price at? Okay, it's at 18 cents. So I had tweeted today that this looks like a springboard. Okay, looks like a springboard. This red area here that I tweeted about looks like an area of resistance. This is a 2-day chart. As you can see, the MACD is crossing. When we got a MACD cross last time, look what happened. It was back here. Look at the price movement, okay? I am expecting us to pummel the 23. It looks like 23 cents was our prior cycle top. I am expecting one to pummel that area and go much higher. We're nowhere near a cycle top in this one. This is the, oh, this is such a beautiful chart. This is such a beautiful chart. How can you not, if you understand TA, how can you not appreciate this chart? This is the harmony, okay, the 1 to BTC. When I look at these charts, this is Satoshi values, but I really want you guys to understand what this represents. This is 1, okay, the cryptocurrency 1 divided by BTC. So 1 USD price value divided by Bitcoin USD price value. That's important to keep in mind because we're going to look at a relativity chart that is not Bitcoin. So this chart is beautiful. This is basically a cup and handle. We have a rounding bottom. We came down, blasted through our prior resistance right here. Look here. This right here. This was our prior resistance. Okay? It's green because it's now support. So we blasted through there. Sky's the limit. We're going to continue going higher. This is a unique chart. This is the 1 to Hbar relativity value. You can see what's going on here. We came up. Look what happened. We came up, had a high, created a low, came up, created a high, a higher high, created a higher low, and it looks very likely that we're going to go up and create another higher high. What does this actually mean? Well, what I have drawn out is this relativity. Man, I'm really struggling with this. This relativity value which peaked at around 0.7, about 0.7, we could get up somewhere in the 1 range. No pun intended. So if I'm saying that the 1 USD to HBAR USD relativity value is 1, what does that actually mean? Okay, we're going back to basic mathematics here. You take 1 USD and you divide it by HBAR USD, and it equals, and if you divide that out, it equals 1.0. What does that mean? That means that 1 USD value is approaching HBAR's USD value. So what I'm saying is, as this continues to increase, I think it's likely. Right now, 1's USD value is 18 cents. I think we could start try to catch up to the HBAR USD value if this trend continues towards the 30-cent area. So keep an eye on that. I like creating unique charts and getting you guys to think about things differently. Let's take a look at Mana. The 2 key things I wanted to hit on with Mana. Mana has been one of the most beautiful structures of charts that I've followed here. I've tweeted about this so many times. We've still been creating, which I've pointed out and tweeted about today, higher lows and higher highs. I was surprised that the 120 area broke. I guess I shouldn't be super surprised. Had I taken a deeper look at the Mana BTC chart, I would have seen that the relativity values with the BTC dump made sense. But, you know, I really wanted to see the 120 area hold. So the first thing we want to see as holders of Mana, the Holy Spirit, what we want to see is we want to see us reclaim the 120 area. As soon as we reclaim the 120 area, I think very quickly we're going to test our all-time high at this. It looks like 168 area. And then obviously once we break 168, it's off to the races, and it will happen quickly. Again, these things happen very quickly in a bull market like this. Again, massively bullish chart. This is the Mana to BTC chart, relativity chart, the Satoshi chart. Rounding bottom, consolidation, again, cup and handle. The handle's formed right here. Breakout. All we're doing right now is we're consolidating. That's all that's going on. So we're consolidating for further movements up. So this thing's just going to continue moving higher. So Mana is very bullish, in my opinion, and is a strong buy at current levels. And once it reclaims 20, I think we're going to head towards and break the 168 level pretty quick. So now let's get into the chart that everybody's been waiting for, all of the HbarBarians, and thank you to Hbar to the moon. You can't really see this, can you? Yes, you can see it. For this beautiful coin, it's right on my desk. I'm going to have to redo my YouTube profile photo. So there's a couple things here with Hbar that I wanted to mention. We're at this point, I think, where some people are getting really impatient. And typically at the point of maximum pain, there's maximum opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not here to tell you the exact day or week that Hbar is going to hit $1 or $5. That's not what I'm here for. What I'm here is to provide you with sound, rational, technical analysis that formulates a logical conclusion that at the top of this cycle, the likely value range that we could hit. That's what I'm here for. All of this bullshit right here is consolidation. This is your chance to not dip your toe in the water, but take your hand, submerge it in there, and grab out as much Hbar as you can because the shit's going higher. Do you know what this is besides a bull pennant that everybody's been pointing to? You know what other reference you could make? Take this auto scale off. Have you ever played pinball before? Nah, I'm probably older than some of you guys. The CryptoBullGod's maybe a little older than you think. But back in the day when you could go to the arcades and you could play Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I'm dating myself. You could go to Mortal Kombat. You could play Star Trek The Next Generation pinball machine. You remember the pinball machines? Remember those? Yeah, the flippers at the bottom. This thing right here is a giant flipper. And you have a control right here, right? This is a flipper. And what's going to happen is, let me show you what's going to happen. The ball's coming down, right? This is the fucking ball right here. And it's coming down to your flipper, and you're going to hit it, and it's going to go like that. Right? That's what's going on. This is a pinball flipper. It's coiling up. The price is coiling up. Please don't be impatient. This shit's going a lot higher. Dear Lord, this is the ball and it's going higher. So hopefully the analogy helps. All right, so the HBAR, I've tweeted about HBAR so many times. I mean, I don't know what else I can do for you guys. This thing is going so much higher. And I have supporting evidence. I'll link the videos below on the HbarBarian video. But the USD chart looks beautiful. It's just coiling up. This is a 2-day chart, okay? I'm big on the KST. I have MACD and RSI down here. But historically, I mean, there's a few crosses we can look for on the KST. Historically, last time we had a cross on a 2-day on the KST, it's led to massive movements up. There's no one indicator that indicates anything, but it looks like we're curling to cross. So I am expecting in the next several weeks for this thing to go a shit ton higher. So you have your chance to scale in and get in at very low levels. Let's go to the HBAR BTC chart. This thing is beautiful. This isn't even the clutch chart I want to get to, but this is the HBAR BTC chart. So Credible Crypto. Credible Crypto is the other TA analyst. He does an awesome job. He does an awesome job of speaking to some of these charts, and I know he speaks to the USD chart. He speaks to the relativity value chart, and I would say, in general, him and I do agree in terms of where this thing is headed. So from a relativity standpoint, what's going on here is, again, we've formed sort of a rounding bottom. Okay, I've pointed this out on Twitter. You can see we've rounded out, consolidated, and we're pushing up. All right, that's exactly what's going on. Once we break this Satoshi value here, this HBAR to BTC value here, we're going to start going into fib extensions, okay? And I went into this in the last video, the HbarBarian video, so I'm not going to go back over it. This chart's looking beautiful, okay? Let's get into the last chart of today. Okay, I think this is the last point I wanted to hit on, yes. This is a unique chart that I posted about. Now, if you are a Matic holder, Polygon, if you're a Matic holder like myself, you're very happy with the level of price appreciation that has taken place. This thing has gone absolutely crazy, and I actually calculated something quite interesting that you'll want to hang around for that makes an argument for HBAR going a lot higher in crypto market cap rankings than even I thought was possible for this bull run. Yeah. So anyway, this chart, what I am expecting, this is an HBAR to Matic relativity. So literally, don't overthink this. HBAR USD numerator divided by the denominator, which is Matic USD. So if HBAR Matic, if this relativity chart, we're just plotting this relativity. That's all that's going on. Don't overthink this. People struggle with fractions. Don't overthink it. If this chart said the value was, let's say, $1 or 1 unit, what you can think of that is if you took the HBAR USD and divided it by Matic USD, it would equal 1, meaning they have the same USD value. So it means HBAR is $3 and Matic is $3, and it's a ratio of 1. If HBAR was $6 and Matic was $3, this relativity chart would say the value is 2. Okay, so hopefully you follow that. What I'm pointing out here first is we have a descending line here historically that we may challenge this year, okay? And that would take us up close to 3. Okay, a relativity value of 3, meaning HBAR's USD value would be 3 times that of Matic. What I'm really honed in on here, okay, what I really think is extremely likely in my opinion, like this is going to be like a magnet, okay? There's a lot of price confluence in this area. Look at this. When we hit this top up here in relativity value, we came down here and consolidated for a while, made another lower high, and have since come down here and consolidated. I firmly expect that this relativity value is going to entertain an area in this yellow zone. And what I did with this gray line is I picked the median point, or the midpoint. I picked the midpoint. And that midpoint is 2. If we can get up to this area, which I think we will, that will represent HBAR's USD value being 2 times Matic's USD value. By the way, Matic right now, let's take a look at Matic. Jesus. Matic is at, oh wow, look at HBAR. This is a beautiful day to be making an HBAR video. Look at one. You gotta love the Holy Crypto Trinity. You know what I'm saying? One in HBAR. Matic right now is at $2.50. So I'm not saying we're going to hit this value when Matic, for this first time, when Matic is $2.50. But if it did, HBAR would be up at $5. Okay. This other zone I have is a secondary zone. I think it's possible we could bounce and have a little struggle based on some prior price confluence. And this ranges between 1.2 to 1.5. So we could face some initial resistance with HBAR's USD value being somewhere between 1.2 to 1.5 times Matic's USD value. But these ranges I feel very solid about concerning the probability of it happening. Okay? What I did shortly before the video, and I hadn't done this, was I said even if we can manage to bounce in the very short term up to a relativity value of 1, okay, meaning all of a sudden, let's look at the value here. If HBAR's USD value can manage to get up to where Matic is at $2.50, or let's say Matic corrects, okay, Matic corrects and it goes down to $2, and HBAR goes up to $2, where would that actually put it in terms of market cap ranking? Well, first off, if they had a similar USD value, I think, it was a very quick calculation, but I think it puts HBAR's crypto market cap ranking about 20%, maybe 15, but around 20% higher than Matic. If we switch over to CoinMarketCap, Matic has made a massive move, okay? If it slips back to, say, in the top 20, it stays in the top 20, what I'm saying is, the whole point of this is, if Crumb hears our cries, and HBAR makes a move that I am expecting in the next several weeks going into June, okay? HBAR may end up exceeding my expectations in terms of where it's going to be here. If Polygon can manage, if Matic can manage to stay in the top 20, I think HBAR could be above where Matic is at, around the same area, and it could break the top 20. That would be massive if it can break into the top 20, because this early into the cycle, and we haven't hit on this, which will be my last point when I think things will top. This early into the cycle, if HBAR can get up here and break into the top 20, there's a case to be made, and I didn't think that this would be possible, to be honest with you, for this cycle. I didn't see this happening. But there is a case to be made that HBAR could entertain getting somewhere close to the top 10. I mean, it's entirely possible. So, again, possible. I'm not saying it will happen. It's a possibility. Again, just connecting the dots. I'm looking at this HBAR Matic chart, and I'm saying, man, this is like a magnet here. And prices want to, at some point, return to its median value and get up somewhere in this. This is real low down here, okay? This is real low, real high, real high. This seems to be a center area of gravitation. Matic is kind of leading the way. It's leading the way, and it's kind of showing us where HBAR could potentially go. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give you guys unique data points and unique views that get you to think about things. I'm not trying to put out cookie cutter approaches that everybody else does. I really want you to get to think about these things and look at things a little bit differently. Now, the other thing I wanted to quick hit on, the last point, this is a super long video. Originally, I said that Bitcoin, my estimation is Bitcoin would top between July and October. Given the current correction that's taking place, again, which I think is very healthy in the long term of where we'll top, I'm going to lean towards August to October. I feel more strongly that it's going to be more like a September-October topping, maybe even November. I'm not entertaining November yet. Maybe September, October, but I'm not that confident yet. So I'm gonna say right now, you know, I see Bitcoin topping somewhere between August and October, meaning your altcoins, again, once Bitcoin tops, Okay, it hits its euphoric top. Money comes out of Bitcoin as Bitcoin's kind of correcting, bleeds into the altcoins. The altcoins run real high, so the altcoins are going to run and top after Bitcoin. So wherever Bitcoin tops, the altcoins will top, like a couple weeks after that. So that is it for today's video. It was a very long one. I hope you stuck around. I really hope you appreciated the content. I put a lot of work into this. So if you appreciate the content, share it. Subscribe to the channel. For the love of God, subscribe to the channel. Like the video. It takes 5 seconds. Drop a comment. And so until next time, spread awareness and carry the education forward.